Hi guys. I don't even know if this is working yet. It's on. Got it. It's on. Sorry. I haven't been, I didn't do any videos recently. It's not because I didn't want to. I did a couple of them actually, but they were in the car. And, I've just been going to the Lord every day. I got a dog. This is my dog. This is, well, her name was Charlotte. Then they changed it to Scarlet. And so I don't even know what I call her. I call her Dog. Best dog in the world. Remember I told you I didn't realize I was afraid to stay by myself? So my daughter and I are co-parenting a dog, but of course I have her. She's so sweet. Except when she barks. I can't take that barking. But, so I sleep better now with her, but sweet dog. I went to my class reunion last night. Oh, remember I don't go anywhere, okay? And they had this whole thing for all weekend. They had golf on Friday night they had something, and then Saturday night. I went last night. I didn't go any of the other nights, and I really wasn't even going to go last night, but I did, and I'm so happy that I went. My daughter dolled me up. I wore her outfit, and sang karaoke. You know, I saw the microphone karaoke. Of course, I had to walk right up to it and start singing. I had such a great time. But you know, I prayed all day. Lord, walk ahead of me, Lord. You know where I'm walking, Lord, and I want to see everybody. You know, and but we get easily swayed back into that. You know, whatever it is, and I didn't want to. You know. The Lord is on my mind all the time. And so even on the way there, I'm just chatting to him. And I asked him to walk ahead of me and to have me surrounded and protected. Just wonderful. It was my 35th, okay? So by your 35th, you know, reunion, everybody's over what you've done, who you are. I mean, they're just happy to be alive. And, you know, it was just good to see everybody. Danced. Oh my gosh, I haven't danced. I thought I was going to die. I was going to just die. But I had to dance. I had to go all in because I only know how to dance one way. And that's all in, right? And so I always say, I did MC Hammer before MC Hammer, okay? We didn't even know what to call it then with my shoulders because it's almost kind of like a, I don't even know what it is, but I just popping. I popped. I always popped my butt. We would call it the shoulder thing, you know. So funny, but so many of them are looking for God. You know, so many of them are, and so I told them about the blog. I'm a bad blogger. I know I am. Just so much easier for me to do videos instead of type. You have no idea how many posts that I have that I haven't finished. It's unbelievable how many I have. But every day I'm reading. I am learning. I'm reading. I'm going back. Remember? Last year I said we have to go to the origins. That's where you have to go. That's where you have to go. You have to go there. This time is about God calling his people, his children, to know him. You have to wipe out man. You have to wipe out the middleman. You will never understand God fully and what he's doing in this time if you do not go to him directly, okay? Because he is there and he is waiting. But you have to know him. His word, the Bible is his inspired word. Everything in there is inspired by him. Everything you have to understand. He is in control of both sides. He's in total control of both sides. He places everyone in their positions. I'm seeing double now because I'm reading so much. It's the best movie. It's the best book I've ever seen, ever read, anything. Because I can see it. I can picture it as I'm reading. How? Because, and this is what I'm saying, because of our learning, okay, from the teachers, generation upon generation upon generation upon generation upon generation, okay, and what their understanding was, which was passed down to us, and this is what we have in here. It's hard. It's very hard to stand on your own, and this is what I'm saying. Stand on your own for God, and He'll show you the truth. Because the enemy, okay, has his hands and his people, okay, in the churches, in the hands, in the Word, all the way, right? God allowed it. God had to allow it. He allowed it. It's all about a faith thing. It's all about faith, okay? And who's going to find the truth in the end? He allowed it. But you can't stand. Don't stand on their interpretation, okay? Because this has been passed down. And not saying all of it's wrong. I'm not saying all of it's wrong. But all of it is not right, okay? All of it is not right. And right now, it's such a divine, supernatural teaching that the Lord is giving to those who are willing to do the work, okay? Those who are willing to go. And when I say work, I mean going to Him and going to the beginning. Because when you go to the beginning, then you can see where the veins, that's what they are, when the veins veered off, okay? When the roads, when one went this way, this way, this way, this way, you can see where the discrepancies, where the interpretations were taken, okay? And it's right here. It's right here. Unbelievable. I have to clear this up. In the last video, when I was talking about the beast, and I said Jesus is the beast, you have to understand what I was saying by that. What I mean is, He's in control of everything. Okay, think about this. When Moses went to the Pharaoh, okay, when he went to deliver the Israelites from Egypt, his rod, his staff, right? He had to throw it down. He threw it down. And what did he throw down? A bigger snake, right? Right. Moses had to throw down the rod, okay? You have the rod, and then you have the staff. The staff is the shepherd's staff. It's what leads you, right? Rod is what he fights for you with. Okay? So Moses, throw it down. Bam, threw it down. He had a bigger snake, didn't he? He had a bigger beast. This is what I'm talking about. Okay? He's going to throw down a bigger beast now. Okay? He's totally in charge of it. When you go through, but it's exactly what he's going to do. When you go through and you truly read the words, this is about it's bringing the brothers together. Okay, I don't care. It's the sun rules the day, the moon rules the night, right? Okay, it's the sun and the moon. It's the sun and the moon. When the sun turns to darkness and the moon turns to blood, okay? And then you have billows of smoke. What is the billows of smoke? See, most Christians, okay, most God-fearing, God-loving, devout Christians don't truly understand what those billows of smoke are. They're from the altars. They're the ashes. They're the burning of the ashes. It's the smoke, okay, that goes up to God's nostrils, and it's either pleasing or not pleasing to Him. Okay, the sun, the sun is the sun turning to darkness. The sun has to throw down the rod. Okay, the sun has to throw down the rod. He's got to throw down the bigger beast to get his people released. You understand? He's got to fight. He's fighting fire with fire, basically, but he's got the bigger fire. The moon, the moon is turning to blood. The moon represents the darkness, okay? Sun represents the light, okay? So, the moon turns to blood. What's the blood? It's Jesus. It's the blood of Jesus. The darkness turns to light. You know what I'm saying? The sun, the moon gets the blood, while the sun has to turn to that darkness for a bit. Okay, but at the end, it's the billows of smoke that go up. It's the ashes burning. It's the ashes burning. It represents the burning of the flesh. When anybody's thrown in the fire, that's a good thing. That's a good thing. When they come from the water and they're put in the fire, that's a good thing. Okay, because God is burning the flesh off of them so they can receive their spot in heaven. That's what that's about. This is what this is about. Okay. This is in the Bible. Okay. Anybody can see this, and how we've never seen this, I do not know. Remember we talked about the principalities, okay? This is about, and God's going to bring them falling in. Not saying all of them, not saying all of them, but we don't even know the story, okay, of this, His creation, and He is doing a redo, doing a total redo. Not all is what we think it is, okay? Not all is what we think it is. When the flood came, correct? Remember, these 7, okay? These main 7 that fell. There was more, right? There's more. This is where the key is in those that fell. Who were they? Okay? This is your key right here. Okay, and what your key is too is when Adam and Eve were in the garden, Adam had so many angels appointed to him, and Eve had so many angels appointed to her. The feminine and the male and the feminine. Okay, the masculine and the feminine. All right, I think they each had 12, but they each there's 12 on each side. It's a big thing. There might have been 6 on each, but I'm thinking each had 12. I just get that sometime. I just want to start remembering those, but these main 7, it was the ones that went with the women, went with the daughters of man. Okay? Remember when the flood, before the flood, when the world was so corrupt and it was so bad, and remember we talked about it wasn't that the world was just so full of sin, and that Noah it was the blood. Noah was the only one that had God's pure bloodline. Okay? It wasn't tainted. Okay? It was not defiled. Noah's blood was not defiled. Well, all the others were, but those 7, not Satan, or not Lucifer, okay? These other 7 were so bad, and God put them in chambers. Now, when you read the Bible, remember the word chambers, because this is one thing I found. God uses specific words when He's talking about a certain thing, okay? He always uses the same words. I just didn't understand what those meant, okay, and how to relate those. He put those main 7 under the ground in chambers, okay? But they could still communicate, okay? Meanwhile, part of their offspring were destroyed back then because God had sent His archangels to destroy their offspring, but some were set to be destroyed at a later date. now. Okay? But they learned to love their children. They did learn to love their children. But he put them in the ground, in their chambers. They could still communicate. Satan, Lucifer, Satan, I'm going to say Satan, he was left out, okay? And he when the flood happened, the earth split apart into 7 continents, correct? Correct. Okay? Well, the water, in the Bible again, crevices, creases, caves, okay? That's where the enemy, okay, hides or rests. And the creases were filled with the water, okay? It's these grids that and the water is huge. Water. Land in the water. When they split apart, okay, each ruled over their areas, okay? Each ruled over their different areas. Their grid lines, their fault lines, is their separations. Water is a huge, huge thing. Huge. Satan, he mentored and the offspring, the 13 offspring, okay, that survived. Now, thing is, he had them in a high enough place for the flood that they survived. But again, if you go back to the Jewish writings, the Jewish teachings, the old scripts, okay, and you read about the animals going in 2 by 2, and you read the description, okay, it's really simple, but there's a lot there. You'll see who went in that ark. You'll see who went in that ark, okay? He had to he's in control of everything, okay? God's got players on both sides. What I'm saying by that is, it's Israel and Judah. Israel and Judah. Jacob and Esau. It is Joseph and the brothers. I mean, this is what it's about. The Bible clearly says this, okay? But again, with what we have been taught over and over and over, we think we know, and we don't. We don't. If we would all done this from the very start, at the origins, and learned and went to God ourselves and learned ourselves, you'd have seen it. I'm just like, I could have had a V8. What took me so long to know this? It took me so long to know this. Such good stuff. Such good stuff. The kings. That's why they got two different calendars. The Jewish calendars. The spring calendar. Okay. Starts on Nisan 1, which usually around in March. And then you have the fall calendar, right? Jubilee calendar. And it starts Tishri 14, or Tishri 1, but it's September 14th. And that's when he created man. That's the 6th day. That's when he created Adam and Eve. That's when he created man. But even the two different calendars, because one is a Jewish Gentile king calendar, and one is a Jewish king calendar. Okay, there's always, even the calendars. Okay, I don't know how to say this. It's Israel and Judah. It's the kings. Did you ever notice on the timeline, it's 500 years, and you go through the changes of these 500 years, and which the tetrads, if you go in, these tetrads are like 500 years, because that is the rule. Okay, the principalities, okay, the fallen in the 7 continents and their areas, and then there's order from there, okay, they each ruled for 500 years. Each of one of the fallen, or the spirit of one of them, okay, ruled. That spirit ruled for 500 years. There's your Hittites, your Perizzites, all your ites, okay, but it's the kings. This is why you had your kings of Judah, your kings of Israel, okay. There's the one. You got it's Adam's angels and Eve's angels. You know what I'm saying? It's this, but there's two. There's this sides, and this is why you have these kings that were just always bad. They were just the evil side. Then you have the good kings, okay? But these are your difference in your kings, in your rulers, okay? It's these 5, each had a 500-year rule. And after 500 years, it would switch to the other one, okay? Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I'm telling you. Right there in front of us. Right there in front of us. When he talks about the Lord of hosts, okay, you have to understand when the Bible's talking about angels. The birds, it's such good stuff. It's such good stuff. Look up. Stop. When you're reading, stop, okay, and go and research the ruler, the king, the words, the reigning princes, okay? That's always a giveaway, the reigning princes. See, our eyes are not adjusted to see that like that. It's the princes, it's the princes and principalities, okay? Yeah. God also, okay, he the spirit that was placed upon those that are his, it's like the spirit of Elijah, okay, that was placed on John the Baptist, okay. Jesus specifically did that. Just as he has done it for he knew who his disciples were going to be, okay? They were chosen in the womb. Their souls, their spirits, who they are, were chosen beforehand to place in those mothers. He knew who those 12 were going to be. It's the 12. Okay? It wasn't random. It wasn't random. It's not random. Alright? Nothing is random. Nothing. Who he had around him, who he had, was all orchestrated from the beginning. The remnant. The remnant. Not saying, the 144,000. Not saying that, I just thought it was the male Jewish virgins, from the Jews. And I fought that and fought that and fought that. No Jew is going to listen to a Gentile. No Jew is going to ever listen to a Gentile. They're Jewish. And then as I learned, I knew that, the bride, there you go, the bride witnesses too. So they're going to have their own group, but separate from them. So then it's the pairing of it. Then they each go out 2 by 2 together, okay? Well, so you got to go back to Genesis. It's all right in Genesis. When Noah put the animals in the ark, it was male and female. Male, female, male, female. This goes back to the angels for Adam and the angels for Eve. Male, female, male, female, male, female. It's the 72 vineyard owners. 72 vineyard owners. Okay? He left a special remnant here, okay? He left a special remnant that are not, that's angelic, okay? It's angelic. It's angelic. So, that special remnant, think about this. The Bible clearly, specifically says, and it makes a note of this, okay? They were not defiled by women. They were virgins, not defiled by women. So, so then we think, well, it's the Jews that, they're virgins, the 70. Or it's when we go up and we get our new, glorified bodies and we become pure again, we became, we're virgins, that, it's those that came to earth from the beginning, okay? It's the ones who did not defile themselves with the women of the earth. That's what that is. I know that you have a hard time at believing this, okay? This isn't something I'm making up. It's in the Bible. It is right there. But because of our it's almost a generational curse for us all, because we're listening to all these generations by generations. And yes, there is, that's how we learn, okay? But at this time now, God's like, okay, you guys, you're going to have to stand on your own here. You're going to have to come to me, okay? Not me, but I mean, him. Because the generations before us did not need to know this. So it didn't matter. And this is why this was not taught before now. This is why God did not release this out until now. Because it is for this generation. We need to know this. We need to know the truth. We need to know who these players are. Who they are. Why they are. And where the errors are in our teaching. Okay? It didn't matter the generations before us. He let it go because it didn't concern them to the point that it concerns us right now. Because if you don't know, what are you going to do? You're going to be so confused. You're going to be so confused. You think I'm the only one? Oh, no. Why do you think all of a sudden your favorite, like YouTube people or whatever, all of a sudden it's the layers that he exposes to us, okay? And in that learning, when you truly chase the heart of God, when you chase the heart of God every day, and you go, I mean, you stumble and you fall, we all know, okay? I mean, when you're going, because understanding what you're learning, okay? And you battle because it's not what everybody's been taught. And that's the key word. Not what everybody's been taught. Who were we taught by? The Lord himself is teaching everybody right now. And if you got ears to hear and eyes to see, but when you chase that heart of God, you want to know all of God, you can't pick and choose what he teaches you and what you want to share. Can't do it. You're going to go against, I know a lot of you think, oh, I'm going, no. Bless your hearts. And I thank you for the concern. Okay, I truly, truly do. But I'm still the same person. I'm still the same person. But I cannot deny what is right in front of us. The Bible. I'm telling you, I'm so in love with it right now. Remember the last 5 books of the prophets? Oh, and Daniel? Unbelievable! Unbelievable! Remember, Abraham was put in that fire too. Remember? He was put in that fire. Daniel was put in that fire. There's a different spirit, okay, upon them and in them. God, He knew. The wombs of their mother. When He formed those babies in those wombs, it's the soul, okay, that He put there. Very special. He already knew. Who they were going to be and what they were going to do. All right? And basically those souls were they were always heavenly. So when He says, you're not from there, you are a resident of heaven, that means you're a resident of heaven. He already preordained you to be who He has already established and made you to be way at the beginning. He's already had all of this figured out. It sounds so complicated, but it's not. It's not. When you go through the Bible, count. When He starts talking about, a certain king having so many brothers, or this one having so many brothers, it's always the same. 6 or 12. 6 or 12. 6 or 12. Or 11. There'll be that 10 and that 2. There's always a separation, There's always that same, whatever the division is, it's always the same throughout the patterns. It doesn't matter what, where they're at, throughout the timeline. It's the same patterns, the same years, the same, he had, 6 blah, 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 or 6 blah, 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 12 blah, blah, blah. It's always the same because He uses the same thing. Such good stuff. The stones, the pillars, okay? In the Bible, the pillars and the stones, those are the angels. Those are the ones that were sent here from the beginning, okay? Remember what we talked about? Remember we talked about what darkness is? When you're in the darkness, okay, that's where you reconcile everything to God. So when you go through those trials, when you go through those testing, when you just are crushed, okay, when you are, it's your time of darkness. You're in the darkness, okay? And when we're there, we empty everything out. Everything. Because we're trying to get out of that darkness. We're trying to see what the thing is. So you're rattling on. You're pleading to the Lord. Why? I don't, everything. It's prayers. It's the same. It's prayers. We're pleading. It's getting rid of the yuck. It's getting rid of the dross, okay? And it's pulling it out. When you are in that darkness, right? Okay? Doing the Helen Keller thing, okay? In there. It's when you reconcile to the Lord. It's in that darkness. And then, once you reconcile, okay, you you see the light. The day, you see the sun, okay? The light comes in, right? Once that light comes in, that's when your feet see and can lead to God's promise, okay? Just promise land, just promises. That's why that darkness is. It says, so thank me for that. Thank me. Our heart is a love letter to God, okay? It's a tapestry of our life. And our hearts are olives. And he just like the wine presses and the olive presses, it's our heart. Our hearts are the olives, and he sends us through the olive press to squeeze the bitterness out. Okay? He knows so much more than us. I mean, so it's that bitterness that he's got to get out. But he sends the darkness. Do you know what I'm saying? He knows this. He's in control of everything. Now, there's that evil, okay? There's the evil that's here, okay? That is here, okay? When he separated the light and the dark, he separated the waters, okay? So, waters is a really key thing, okay? Waters. Waters. But he has, just as he has his creation, okay, his servants, his children, his whatever, that guide through the light, he's got them that guide through the darkness, okay? And he's has those that do a specific job for him, okay? Because it's all about truly taking them to the fire. Because when you are in the fire, that's when you are refined. That is when you're strengthened, your vessel is strengthened, okay? You know, we have no clue what's in what he does. He knows what's wrong and what we got to change and what we got to do and what he has planned for us and what our roles are. Okay? We don't have a clue. But he knows. So, he does it two-sided here. Okay? I mean, don't be wrong. There's that evil. Okay? That was here. That was here. That's the bad. Okay? But he's God's in control of both. But when he has patience, see, he knows how the end's going to go. He has patience. And he has to do what he's got to do to get you saved at the end. Because he knows who's going to stand where. It's already pre-done. Alright? And so he has got to get you where he knows you have to be in order to stand where you have to, where he's got already your place card. Okay? Where you're going to stand. And people don't believe this, but it's absolutely true. Look at his pattern in the Bible. Look at the pattern. It's the kings. Okay? Look at the heroes and look at the villains. Okay? It's the same pattern throughout. Same pattern throughout. Same. They wanted the kings, remember? Remember, they wanted the kings, so he gave them kings. He gave them kings. It's so good. It's such good stuff. Such good stuff. This time, you know, coming up, I need to find my blog post or my videos that I did last year on that time period, especially when I first found it, you know, how it was from March, okay, and remember when I was all excited about it because I just found it and I said this time is not, it's 7 months or, you know, it's 240 days. 240 days. But cut that in half and it's 120 days. Okay? It's your 40, pause, 40, pause, 40, pause. There's little pauses there, okay? And it's Moses going up the mountain each time. It's the first set of tablets, broken set of tablets. It's going to be the new tablets, right? Okay, so it was 240 day total. But I said that I couldn't see him going that whole 240 days. You know, this 120 day. There's 100 man's years are 120 years. Okay, and there's 120 days of man. It's called the 120 days of human man. So again, these are these 40-day periods. So, and at first, when I did it, and I wrote where the center point of that was, of the first 120 days, and then where the start of that second 120 days would start, if you would use that, okay? And it's back in my things, and I need to go and pull them up. But how I saw him just really doing condensing it to just the 3, okay? The 120 days. Because of everything that he was showing, and the dates are the same, just the same dates, okay? Who had time finding what calendar it was on, right? Same dates. Well, you know, I thought he was going to just go in that first 40 days. You know, remember I said that it's going to the base of the mountain, when the Israelites are at the base of the mountain, and it's what you choose, the golden calf or God, okay? Golden calf or God. It's the base of the mountain, right? Well, if you get everybody to come together, then maybe in that first 40 days. Well, it wasn't. And it wasn't, because this is about Passover. Okay, again. Why is there 50 days between starting the second day of Passover to Pentecost? Okay? It's 7 weeks. There's just, what are we supposed to do in that? It's not a Lent. I mean, everything's at Lent time, right? You know, so much. It's attributes. It's the goodness, the kindness. It's working on yourself, preparing. It's preparing your vessel, okay, to receive God's word, okay? And it's a cleansing time. It's to get rid of all the yuck, everything that God hates. Is that 49 days to get rid of it, is what it is, okay? It's to work on ourselves, to get rid of the yuck, to prepare. Well, you know, because it didn't happen, it doesn't mean it didn't happen, okay? The whole realm, the spiritual realm, whatever is shown in heaven, okay, it takes 3 days to manifest on the earth. But remember, to God, 3 days, 3 weeks, 3 months, 3 years. 2012 started. It's been 3 years. Okay, it's also 3 days. Okay, we're in that 3rd day now. We're in that 3rd day. And that's how you have to look at this, because it's exactly what it is. Because we don't see things manifest here, doesn't mean they haven't manifested. It doesn't mean that he's not making, okay, his children physically go through the patterns, okay? And because these days are coming and going without anything happening, doesn't mean, okay, in the spiritual realm, in the heavenly realm, that huge things are not happening, okay? Because they are hugely important to God, and they're huge marker dates. But just because we think that, okay, well, this happened, this happened, this happened, because he is going by strict patterns. I will tell you this, strict numbers and strict patterns, okay? Because we don't see them manifesting does not mean they're not manifesting. And because he's not making us go through them, again, because they've already happened, okay? Because he's not making us, physically walk the same path, doesn't mean it's not being walked, okay? So, all of this counts. Counts. It's that what it is when I look at the calendar, I was looking at, okay, July 2nd, night of July 2nd, we had that fluky blood red moon, okay? And it was, they said it was due to the Canadian wildfires. Well, I remember walking out and looking, I was like, oh my gosh, well, there's a blood red moon right there. It was huge. It's huge. And then, okay, it was a special month anyway, because July had 2 full moons. That, once the blue moon, okay? Well, July 29th was the second blue moon. Was the second full moon. Guess what? Did you see? Over Russia, it was a blood red moon. So I'm like, okay, well, this is right in the middle of my peak thing going on right here. Okay, right in the middle of all this. You got 2, it's a marker, it's a sign between July 2nd and July 29th. Please don't. Okay? So I started counting. Started doing the count. When I went to the moon, all your full moons, new moons, everything for the year, okay? So for the year of 2015, I go, and I'm looking at all the full moons. From, okay, April, when did it start? I've lost my concentration now. I'm going to look it up and get it. Oh my gosh. It's the full moons. It's the counting. It's the weeks of the full moons. Okay, starting with April 2nd, I want to say. No, I know it's not April 2nd. I know it's not April 2nd. I'll finish this up in just a minute, and I'll show you this pattern, and it's what it is. It's what it is right there. It's right there in front of us the whole time. Also remember this. Jesus was 33 and a half when he was crucified, okay? He still had to finish out that Jubilee to 49 years. So that meant that he had 15 and a half years to finish, to complete that Jubilee, okay? Well, 2000, was a mark date, right? 2000 was the year of the start, okay, of the 2,000 years since he's died. Well, I was looking at that 49 years, and he's 33 and a half years old, so that meant he had 15 and a half years to finish out, to complete that Jubilee. Well, 15 and a half years. 2015 and a half. So then when you go to Passover, and you start doing your count, 15 and a half years. How is that possible? I mean, come on. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I'll do that one. Love you. See you soon.